Okay, so the first thing y'all were wrong about Avowed is that it was never supposed to be Skyrim. Or Oblivion. Well, this is just economic game design, because why spend money for a fancy cinematic when you already have the concept artist on payroll? And presumably in America, you're holding the sword of emergency hospital visits of Damocles over his head at all times. Wait, are we just making the zombie thing from The Last of Us? Look, if you're given a xenomorph facehugger that's presumably a sentient piece of Groot's ass, I think you're obliged to use it in order to prove you're not a motherfucking boring motherfucker with no motherfucking imagination. Oh, there is a cinematic. Guess the concept artist quit to move to Canada for free healthcare. I'm gonna spoil the game now and say it's about the origins of the T-virus with magical pirates. Anyway, my point is illustrated with, well, this thing, because I can't be asked to reinstall those other games, and also because honestly I expected better from humanity, lest I start drinking again. Hey, can I kill that monkey? Because if I can, Hogwarts Legacy can further go f*** itself. Okay, so nowhere can I recall at any point Avowed being advertised as a Bethesda game. You know, here's a big world, it's pretty interactive, come live in it and maybe take pictures of the stupid bugs to post on social media. Install 50,000 mods mostly having to do with adding anime tits to everything, and if you have any time left over, maybe actually try to follow the main plot, which is usually shit. Bethesda builds worlds, quality not guaranteed, but this is Obsidian, the nerds who aspire to be taken seriously as writers and just want to tell you a story. Usually a pretty good one.
We don't have to like...
Oh man, I'm not using the third-person camera anymore. That jump is floatier than Mario. I think they forgot to texture the interiors of these chests. Let's talk about that and the many other ways you're also wrong about Avowed throughout this video. That's what we call a hook in the essayist business. So I noticed there's also a game called Unavowed on Steam, and I feel I'll have to let know everybody who also wants to buy Avowed that once you have it, I'm pretty sure the laws of the universe states you can never play Unavowed because owning both is probably a crossing of the streams kind of situation.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Not particularly interesting, but good to know because reviews are actually really singing the praises of both games.
Whatever's on their faces.
Whatever's on your face makes your conservative parents ashamed of you. So apparently the cinematics director also left for Canada because without even the courtesy of a transition screen, you arrive at the mainland from being stranded on the island, which was apparently all of maybe 8 feet away all along. So I don't know why I couldn't have just dog paddled.
Your face.
Your face is ugly, because it looks like the animation artist is also thinking about moving to Canada.
A message from the government of Canada.
Better yours than...
You're Gareth, so I can't get mad at you. It's not allowed by law or something. Anyways, you're also wrong about Avowed if you think it's a tentpole game or a killer app for a system seller or whatever language Xbox groupies used to make themselves feel less dirty in the morning. Is it worth 90 Canuck bucks plus Quebecois taxes? Acheter Canadien, vive le Canada, ho ho ho.
A message from the government of Canada.
Well, honestly, I think they only spent like 69 American toonies making the game because it's cheap as f.
Bring me his map. I'll be glad to pay.
What the f? Why am I picking up odd jobs at the dock like a common hooker? I'm an official ambassador and that's at least a high-priced escort in terms of geopolitics. It's always nighttime when you make camp. Sure, whatever. Garrus is illiterate in this game, but he does own a gun, so I guess the joke's on me. Where can I get one of those?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after. Are you blind?
The guy responsible for writing multiple lines of ancillary dialogue is also moving to Canada. The guy responsible for making the animation of your guy putting his hand on the big rock has already moved to Canada. What the f***? Okay, I mean, Henry's poor as shit, but really turned out his pockets to make sure his shit-covered cutscenes are lavish and well-directed, whereas in Avowed, you get one opening cinematic, followed by scrolling text over context art. And during the first big plot point where you touch the Prothean beacon for your mandatory dose of hallucinatory prophetic bullshit, you're basically stuck talking to a slightly animated screensaver that sasses you. It's apparently a job requirement for diplomatic ambassadors to also be good at parkour. Huh? Hang on, gotta eat.
Envoy.
Well, game's over, go home. So the cutscene guy obviously moved back to the US after finding out free healthcare doesn't cover the drugs.
A message from the government of Canada.
So did the hand animations guy. When he found out, he still has to buy his own weed. Also, Obsidian obviously employs some pretty clever accountants because if everybody gets fired when a studio's game doesn't turn a profit, The simplest solution, therefore, is to make the game for as cheaply as possible so as to make losing money nigh on impossible. Ideally by nailing the feet of the NPCs to the ground, because it was either animating walking for background extras or a semi-carton of eggs in the break room fridge, and you know Americans can't afford eggs by February of 2025.
Envoy, could I speak with you?
No, I'm too important. How many made-up words are in this game? And yes, I didn't even notice, and they probably would have gotten away with it until the internet told me. And now I can't unsee it. Thank you very much, you nitpicking bitches.
Bitch!
What I did notice, however, was the game stuttering like a nervous politician explaining his evaporating lead in the polls whenever there are more than 2 buildings on screen.
I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business.
Pick the intellectual, because then you get the speech checks where you can make everybody else feel stupid about themselves.
Alright, that one's not for sale.
I don't even know what this is, I'm not smart enough. It's not even a prolonged stutter, but a tick every time you move, and I even think I figured it out. Feel free to send that QA check my way, Obsidian. How many made-up swear words are in this game?
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, I feel like throwing up too. The stuttering only happens on the big overworld map, so I guess it's trying to calculate a bear shitting in the woods, even as I'm working out my own murder mystery in the middle of Times Square. No, I'm right. The stutter completely disappears when loaded into an instance, so my question is, why the f wasn't the entire game just connected instances? Your open world is neither open or a world, and being brutally honest, you have no f***ing idea. So why not just play to your strengths? This spell just gives me a stick? I'm not even good with sticks, I'm an intellectual. In that, you're also wrong, because Avowed isn't even a traditional CRPG the way humanity's greatest cultural achievement is. Because it's not trying to simulate every possible outcome of a player saying, yeah, but what if I just, and then proceeding to roll double boxcars, and the dealer dungeon master just has to hold his head and go along with it and try to make it all make sense. See, it doesn't lag in here. You know what, bitches? You're right. This is pretty noticeable and immersion breaking.
Bitch!
Mine.
Earth and rock!
I don't know how often is this gonna come up again. Okay.
Perhaps higher education.
I'm just here for your stuff. Hey look, I can fart acid out of my hand.
As you know, Kai and I have worked together.
I'll be honest, the story is pretty intriguing. I'm not entirely sure what it's building up to, but I'm interested to find out. 0 out of 10, can't kill this chicken.
Naturally.
So, you admit you're a charlatan. I did read this, and yes, it is well written. No, you're boring. Shut up.
No one will challenge our presence in the living lands.
I, for one, am proud to be a colonialist. Look at the consequences of my actions. Best RPG ever. Oh good, I can still go back if I want to, so I don't miss any side quests.
Aware, I can see you digging through my thing.
Oh shit, the internet told me you didn't give 2 shits about my stealing. Whatever, here's what I got. What's wrong with your arm? Hey look, I found a gun.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Are you a godlike?
I don't know, do you blink?
Dare you use that?
Also, why do you guys hold conversations while standing rigidly side by side? Okay, so the game is really more of a slightly dog-eared choose-your-own-adventure novel where the point is just to get to the next dialogue tree. So you can pick the most sarcastic speech check to find out more about the weird world, and pretty engrossing plot about a magical plague and a fantasy take on colonization, with muskets and cutlasses during the Great Age of Sail. I'm not the only asshole here, look at my dwarf.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Wait a minute. Plague? Colonialism? Magical pirates? This is just Greedfall, isn't it? Well, I guess what I'm saying is just play that one while waiting for Avowed to be patched, so it doesn't stutter like shit anymore.